It's the late night show, Info Spot 411 YouTube channel. All right, everybody. I got some good stuff to talk about here tonight. And yes, I'm going to be doing indications where after this incident occurred. I got some news here on the new James Bond movie. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. There is some breaking news. The James Bond movie will be delayed. I have all the information on that. The Y2K scare. I'm going to talk about this was in the year 2000. It was on New Year's Eve of 1999 going into 2000. What the Y2K scare was, and it ended up being a bunch of nothing. But there was a big scare out, and I'm going to talk some stuff that I remember from this Y2K scare. So kind of an interesting historical topic. I'll bring it up, something kind of fun and interesting. I'm going to talk about that, and I got some of the information right here from Wikipedia. As well as I'm going to share a few things that I remember from New Year's Eve 1999 and weeks before, and what the big Y2K scare was. Yes, it is football season. I got my Bears jersey on. And for a fun topic, the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. This is from the Sporting News. I'm going to go over the top 10 lists. And I'm going to talk about the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. What else do I have here? Oh, a couple other interesting things. This I found real interesting because I eat at Subway a lot. Yes. And I'm going to do some channel drops for you guys in just a few minutes here. And we will be networking with each other. And I'll have some more people coming on here once just give it a few minutes for my live. Subway sandwich bread is not legally bread. Now, this is a news article out of Ireland. And this is an Irish court that ruled on it. But there's a major problem with the Subway bread. And I eat at Subway a lot. Is that it's high in sugar. So a lot of these commercials, like, oh, you don't bother with the fast food, meaning McDonald's and Burger King. Eat healthy, get Subway. Well, it's not always healthy at Subway. I mean, let alone some of those meats are like just frozen and they microwave it and cook it up. And anyway, I'm going to go over this news story. Let me get this here. That's my computer again. When I move something in front of my camera, sometimes I get the lines. But anyway, I got it. There's a problem with the Subway bread. Too much sugar in it, and I'll go over what this court in Ireland ruled on Subway. Pretty interesting. A couple other fun stories. A big black bear takes a ride on top of a garbage truck, and I got a picture of it. This is hysterical. Anyway, your guy's going around. It's one of those trucks that picks up those huge dumpsters, and has the crane that comes up, goes inside the dumpster, and boom, and then comes down. Well, some big black bear jumped on top of the truck. And the guy didn't know until he started driving a while. He had a big black bear on top of it, and I got the picture of it. And I'll go over what happened. This was in Pennsylvania. It's a state here in United States. Wow, this was a trip too. A pickup truck leaves a road and drives into somebody's swimming pool in their backyard. And I got a picture of it here. Let me just show you this briefly. Hopefully it doesn't get too wavy. I'll put it back. But yeah, that's like a full-size Chevy Silverado or, one of those Dodge Ram pickup trucks. Went right in the back of someone's pool. I'll go over. This is a picture from a tweet from the Florida State Highway Patrol. Of all things. We'll have some general conversation as people come in. You want to talk about something, have some questions, we'll go over that. Dropping my notes. Okay, first things first, I have a few people here. Let me get you a couple channel drops, and we'll get some more people in here rolling. Oh, tribute video. Got my notepad. I'm going to put you in it. My tribute video last time, it was number 9. That thing blew up. I think it was 8,000. I got to check. It was like 8,000 views or something. But what happened was, a couple weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, I did this Cadillac video, and the thing just exploded. And then I've had some really great traction afterwards. So for being on my live. Yeah, you can go on my homepage channel and check it out. But what happened was this Cadillac video, it just took off. And I got some traction in some of my other videos. The one that really did well, about 4 days ago, I uploaded it. Me and a friend of mine went to a junkyard and he pulled out a big engine out of a Chevy truck. That was like 12,000 views. I think I'm only about 2 weeks away from getting monetized, but that's not my main reason for being on YouTube. Yeah, I like to be monetized. Time is money, but you got to enjoy what you do. Any rate, let me get some channel drops, and I'm going to take a note and get you guys in the tribute video here, as well as when some more people hop on my live, you know, coming up. CEO Biloxi. And I seen you guys in Novak, and I will shout out Novak through the show here because I know he's in a fight to get monetized. He's my friend Novak. I put in my community tab. He has about 8 or 9 days left, and he's got to pick up 500 or 600 watch hours to get monetized. Otherwise, they reset his watch hours. It's a YouTube policy. They give you 12 months to reach 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, as YouTube calls it, their threshold. You have to meet that threshold in 12 months in order to earn monetization. So my friend Novak is this close, and I'll shout him out through the show for sure. Okay, I'm going to do some channel drops here, and we'll get into the topics tonight. Yes, it is. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to have this too, so when some more people hop on my late night show here, you know, we can network with each other, and I'll have your channels up. I got one more here. And then I'll put a big hello in the chat room. It just takes me a second here to get your channel drops. And then we're getting into the topics. Got some interesting stuff to talk about. Okay. And what I mean by networking with each other, I say this on every live broadcast show, but I always just want to say it, you know, so anybody comes on who's watching this, you know, checks out your channel. They do it and do it right. It's not, I don't consider it sub for sub. There's much more to subscribing. 3 main things. Subscribe to someone else's channel. Watch one of their videos in full. No 2 minutes, no 5 minutes. Watch one of their videos in full. So if they got a 7 or 8 minute video, go through their YouTube channel. Find a 7-8 minute video. Watch it in full. Third thing, drop a like and a nice comment, because that's what you want when someone comes on your channel. You know, in full, leave a like and a nice comment. Subscribe to your channel. That pop up connection getting lost. Blah blah blah. So bear with me if I cut in and out. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we're trying to reconnect. Okay, there we go. Yep. Okay. Before I get started on my topics here, let me write down the channels here. CEO Biloxi. I got both of you guys on my subscribers list, so I'll pull up your channels and then put you in the tribute video. All right. BAHRIT BADAP. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Let me get a sip of Red Bull. I got my notes. We're going to talk about the 1986 Miami Shootout. It's a very interesting story. I'm big on social science and history. Another thing I like to do with my live broadcast, I like to give everybody a break from the COVID-19 news, as well as the President Trump and Biden here in the U.S. in the politics. I very seldom touch on politics, so we're going to have some fun and enjoy ourselves. Some good stuff to talk about. My Red Bull here. All right. I might only stay 15, 20 minutes, bro. Okay, no problem. Because I think you guys are over by Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, friends of Novak. That part of the world where you're on a major time difference. I'm in Detroit, Michigan, United States, and right now it's 11 p.m. where I am. Anyway, if you got 15, 20 minutes, that's all you're going to need, because you're going to want to hear this. The 1986 FBI Miami Shootout. Now, the FBI, because I know some of you guys are not here in America, that stands for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They're a federal law enforcement agency. And one of the things the FBI investigate and go after are bank robbers. And the FBI, unlike other law enforcement agencies that are state police or local, like city, township police, they got jurisdiction throughout the country, and they have field offices throughout the country. So a lot of times when there's major bank robbers and they're going from one state to another state and other types of crimes, the FBI, no problem. They'll go after them and track them down. This takes place in Florida. Miami's a big major city in the southern part of Florida where the shootout ended up happening. Just a quick backdrop on the story. I do have, as I go over this, and if you're really interested, whether you're watching this live later or now. Oh, okay. All right, cool. What was I going to say? Yeah, it was two gentlemen, okay? Or two guys. I shouldn't say they're gentlemen. Oh, Prin Victor, thank you for coming. I'm just about to talk about the Miami Shootout. And then when I'm done with the story, I'll hit you with the channel drop, Prin Victor. My friend from the Philippines, Prin Victor, thank you so much. So anyway, these two guys, they were involved in murder and robbing banks throughout the state of Florida. And the FBI, they were very tactical in how they did it. And they robbed an armored truck, and then they started hitting banks. But as they kept doing it, you know, they need money to keep going. The FBI were getting more and more clues. And to make a long story short, to get to the shootout and what happened, the FBI had information of an area, Miami, where they were going to be, you know, robbing banks. And what the main piece of information that they had. Oh, okay. Thank you. The main piece of information the FBI had was the suspects were driving, I believe it was, a black Monte Carlo. Now, a Monte Carlo it's a two-door Chevy car. So it's a two-door car, black in color, and they had some description and video of these guys, and they knew they were two white males and what they looked like, and that they'd be in this black Monte Carlo. They didn't quite have the license plate. So anyway, if I remember that correctly, I won't get too much into the detail. I got to watch the whole video and read about it again with the plate. Anyway, so these FBI agents are around Miami, and they're targeting certain banks and areas that they suspect they're going to be hit by these two bank robbers. And one of the bank robbers was in the U.S. Army Rangers, it's a special forces group, infantry group. So he was very skilled with firearms and how to do combat fighting and tactical, and that this is going to play a role in how things went down with the shootout. So at any rate, two of the FBI agents. Oh, Raul, thank you for coming. Just talking about the 1986 Miami Shootout, and you guys will be in the tribute video. I'll take a note once I'm done with this, and I have real quick all my topics in the description box. No, this doesn't include school shootouts. No, this is just a story about an FBI Miami shootout where they had a shootout. This incident lasted maybe about 10 minutes with these two bank robbers and the significance of it. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. And as well, once I'm done with this, again, if you're interested in this, there's a show called the FBI Files, and they got the episodes on YouTube. I have the link for this in my description box. So if this is something you're interested in wanting to learn more about and watch, they did a great reenactment and the whole story. It's on YouTube, and I got it in my description box. Okay. So anyway, these two FBI agents are undercover, meaning they're not in any uniform. They're just in like suit and ties, and they're in a regular car. It's not marked with a big siren light or, you know, FBI or police on the car. The only thing they had in the car was a radio that most people can't see. And then they had one of those little beanie lights they put up on the dash, a blue light, you know, that goes around on the dash, because they were working undercover and they wanted to catch these suspects. And what ended up happening there was, I think, about 8 different FBI cars that were casing this area of Miami that for a few days that they suspected these guys were going to rob the banks. So lo and behold, 2 of these FBI agents are in the car and they spot this Monte Carlo. It's a black Monte Carlo with the 2 suspects in it that were robbing the banks. And they're like, hey, this is a black Monte Carlo. These 2 guys in it look just like we have in our description. They had a picture from a heist that they did earlier. Any rate, oh, thank you, C. Miller. Thank you for coming, talking about the 1986 FBI Miami Shootout. And I got the whole video in my description box, by the way, C. Miller. So if this is something you're interested in, there's a show called the FBI Files. And thank you so much. Much love, C. Miller. My New York City, my friend from Jamaica. Yes. Anyway, let me get back to the story. And so the FBI agents spot this Monte Carlo with the 2 white suspects, these bank robbers that have been hitting all these banks in Florida. So they get behind the car, but not like right behind it at first. They, boy, my connection keeps cutting in and out. It's driving me crazy tonight. Any rate, so what they do, following, procedure and safety protocol, they get on the radio. They call in for backup right away. Hey, we spotted these 2 suspects, possibly armed and dangerous. They're in the black Monte Carlo. Assistance needed. So the call goes out and the call goes out to other FBI agents. And one mistake that they made at this time was they didn't notify the local law enforcement for further backup, knowing that these guys could be armed. They felt confident enough that they could make a good traffic stop and arrest these guys. So anyway, they follow them behind the first car with the 2 agents. So now there's 4 FBI agents undercover, 2 cars. And long story short, they follow them for a few more miles. And the guys in the Monte Carlo see that they're being followed. So they start breaking down different streets around Miami, and the FBI agents now follow chase. They didn't light them up yet, meaning run the sirens for a traffic stop, until I think there was a 3rd car with 2 more agents in. So there's around 6 agents, if I'm not mistaken, in 3 cars for the initial stop. So finally, one of the supervisors, FBI agent says, all right, light them up. Let's pull them over. We got 3 cars, 6 agents. We can take these guys. So what they do, they light them up. The guys don't stop in the Monte Carlo. They take off. So a pursuit happens, and they're cutting down some like residential type streets, if I'm not mistaken. And what happens after a few more miles, the FBI box in the car. So the car's here, FBI car gets in front, to the side, and one here, and they box this car in and get it to a stop. But a big mistake here, now I'm going to get into mistakes and what happens. A big mistake that they did, the passenger has a Mini 14, which is a rifle, a small rifle that can hold 30 rounds, meaning 30 bullets per magazine. So this is a serious rifle that this passenger's got. Most of these FBI agents at this time, keep in mind, it's 1986, they're armed with revolvers. A revolver holds 6 bullets. And then you got to pop out the cylinder, drop those bullets, put 6 more in. It's a lot different than a semi-automatic handgun, a pistol. So anyway, they box them in. What happens right away? This passenger, the driver leans back. The passenger takes the Mini 14. Donut Toys and Games, thank you for coming. And I'm going to get you guys in my tribute video. Let me just finish the story here. So the car stops. The passenger takes this Mini 14 rifle that holds 30 bullets in it. It's like it's a small little rifle. The passenger leans over, gets the butt of the rifle right in the stock. Now keep in mind, this guy with the rifle, he's a former U.S. Army Ranger. He's trained for this. And the 2 FBI agents that have their car, here's the suspect's car in the Monte Carlo right here, leans out, bang, 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 just starts unloading on these. So what they do, the training kicks in. The FBI agent in the driver's door pushes open the door, gets out that door, like crawling and rolling out. And then the other agent gets shot in the passenger seat getting out. He gets hit. So the 2 agents behind this car They get out. Boom. You know, get the revolvers. The ones in front, I believe one of the ones in front had a 12 gauge shotgun. Got that out. The other agent gets out with another revolver. Now, most of them were armed with revolvers, which hold 6 bullets. Okay, let me just go over my notes here. Mini 14, 6 Okay, this is what happens next. So the agent who gets out on the driver's side, all right, he gets in front of the hood of his car and he gets his revolver, starts returning. But the problem is not all the bullets are hitting. And now you have somebody with a Mini 14 that holds it's got a magazine holding 30 bullets, just opening up on him. Bang, 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 bang. And so the agents behind, they start shooting this way. But now the agent who's right on by the hood of the car, his hand gets hit. Boom. So he's down. And just as his hand gets hit, he comes up to take another shot and gets shot in the neck. Boom. A bullet races his chin and neck. So he's out. He's done. The other agent got nicked in the arm. He's taking cover. So the agents behind start firing. Well, they hit the guy with the Mini 14 once. And I believe the driver gets hit once at this time. And I'm just summarizing this. If you watch this video, it's linked in my description. You'll see the reenactment of everything detail for detail. So at any rate, the passenger with this Mini 14 rifle, he gets out of his vehicle. And what he does, this is a military tactic, okay? He advances on these 3 agents. Now what happens and where the agents really made a bad mistake, they're using revolvers. The ones behind the car, these 3 agents, they're all reloading the revolvers at the same time. So here they are reloading bullets. Here comes a guy with he's got magazines on him that hold 30 rounds in a Mini 14. It's like a small assault rifle. If you gun holding a large capacity of magazines, I guess you can consider it an assault rifle. Anyway, he takes this rifle, he advances on him, and he comes running. I don't want to say quite running. He's walking at a real good pace, comes around, catches all 3 agents trying to reload their guns, opens up on them. Bang, bang, bang. So one agent's able to get out of the way and move, but he gets hit. The other 2 agents, they get hit. One of them died on the ground. The other one is just sitting there bleeding. Bang, 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 bang. So right at this time, another car pulls up with 2 more agents. They start firing on him. So then he gets back, and the 2 agents in front of the car are getting fired upon by that driver. So the driver gets shot pretty good. And what happens is he hits these 3 agents. He's got this Mini 14 assault rifle while they were loading up the revolver. Now, the first 2 agents that were in this car were one is hitting the neck and out of commission, and the first one hitting the hand. If you could follow with me here, just kind of use your imagination. When you watch the video, you'll go along. Wrapping up the story, the gentleman, the driver, he moves around to the agent's car where the 3 were shot. And the guy with the Mini 14, as he comes around, he takes in a couple more bullets. And so he gets into that car, the agent's car this time, parked at, here's the Monte Carlo, the car parked behind the Monte Carlo. So he gets in the car parked behind the Monte Carlo, and he's going to back that car out, run over the agents and get out of there. His buddy comes around, jumps in the passenger seat. Luckily, the first agent that got hit, he can't use one of his arms, but he's got a shotgun now. The shotgun, basically, he had that buckshot in it. It's a big thing of pellets that come out. You know, when it comes out, it's not just one bullet. So he's got this shotgun, and he can only push it against his shoulder because his one arm is out of commission from being shot. And he knows if the minute they are able to back up that car, they're going to definitely kill those agents if they're still alive on the ground that this guy took out Mini 14. So the one agent who was hit here in the ground and his partner's in the neck, he pulls out the shotgun. Boom, boom, boom. He fires, I think, about 3 or 4 rounds. A shotgun usually holds about 5 shells, shotgun shells. Yes, it is. Richmond Language Academy. Yes, it is. So anyway, this guy, the one agent, and he's still alive today, and he spoke about this. He opens up with his shotgun, and he goes through, I think, like 3 to 5 shotgun shells on the guy with the Mini 14 who's trying to drive the car backward and run over the agents. And he hits the other guy, his buddy, who was the original driver, in with it. Two suspects are in the FBI agent's car, and they're trying to start it up and take off. So luckily, he's the one agent left. Boom, 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 opens up with the shotgun on him. Once he goes through those 4 or 5 shells, he had a backup revolver on him, or a sidearm revolver, pulls that out, gets up to the car, boom, boom, point blank, shoots them, but they're both dead at this time. Now, the 2 agents in front of the car, both of them got shot. One's dead from the driver. I know this is confusing because there's a lot of bullets flying and people involved in it. But anyway, let me have it here. There were 2 FBI agents died in it, and 5 agents were wounded. And what was learned from this, and this is why this is so significant, this 1986 FBI Miami Shootout, was that a few big mistakes happened, okay? First was the FBI did not work in conjunction with the local police, because if they would have notified local police, they would have had more help. That would have meant, you know, when this guy comes out with that gun, there could have been 5 or 6 more police officers that were shotguns, and then just it would have been lights out for them. You know, they felt that they could do this on their own, and that's one thing, is the law enforcement has to work together. Another big one is, you probably are hearing my story, and if you watch the video, it's in my description box. It's like a 45-minute show, the FBI files that show this, and then at the end it gets into the shootout. Was at this time, keep in mind, 1986, a lot of the agents were using revolvers. Now, revolvers will work. It's a handgun, okay? But when you're in one of these big shootouts like the Los Angeles, and there was another one in 97, 98, sometimes, depending on the situation you're in, you might need, you know, 15, 20 bullets. In a semi-automatic pistol, not only can a 9mm can hold that capacity of rounds, a police officer, but as well, you can reload a pistol, I mean, within seconds. That's why a lot of police will have on their gear belt, they'll have 2 extra magazines. They just hit a button, out drops the magazine. They got a fresh one, boom, slap it in, pull the slide back, you're good to go. With a revolver, it's a whole different ball of wax. You got to push out that cylinder, drop all these bullets, and then they have a speed loader, put it in. But you're looking at about a difference of 15 to 20 seconds. Normally, if someone's really, really good, maybe 10 seconds. You're talking 2 or 3 seconds. You can reload a pistol and put in a magazine in. So that's a big lesson that got learned. And not only FBI, but a lot of law enforcement throughout the country after this happened, they switched over to semi-automatic pistols and got away from those revolvers. I prefer a Glock. Yes, a Glock is one of the more popular brands of semi-automatic pistols that law enforcement use. Very reliable, a trustworthy brand. SIG, which stands for 6th Hour, they're another good handgun. Smith & Wesson, I think they call it the M&P series, make a semi-automatic pistol. What was the other one? Oh, this is the other big mistake, and they redid this, you know, with some training. When you have 2 or more agents or law enforcement together, okay, and one has to reload, one should always stand guard. You know, meaning they should have at least a bullet or 2 and stand guard, because 3 of them are all at the same time reloading their guns, and this guy comes right up on him and just unloads and shoots him, and one's dead and the 2 other seriously wounded. But if one of the agents had a couple bullets in their gun, standing guard, and that guy comes around the car, bang, 1 headshot, done. So that's one of those things they reevaluated from the 1986 FBI Miami Shootout was, you know, is have someone stand guard with a gun while the other agent or agents reload, as well as other law enforcement agencies learn from this too. And like I say, working together, they didn't work and communicate with the local law enforcement of the City of Miami Police Department. Could have had more backup on the way. Yeah, that was a mistake that came out of this. Oh, another thing that happened with this 1986 Miami Shootout was the FBI had information on one of these individuals, and they had the pictures, but they didn't know the exact name where they lived. Well, They got back a driver's license for one of the suspects that was in the shootout, and it should have got to the FBI a week sooner. And there was some issue with the communication of the law enforcement and the FBI, and they got this information like I think it was 4 or 5 days after the shootout happened. One of the agents at that Miami field office got it. If they would have got this a week sooner, they would have had the suspect, and they could have put him under surveillance and caught him and arrested him, when he's going up to the gas station or 7-Eleven and he's going, or a grocery store to get something, catch him off guard and by surprise when he's not armed, and make an arrest and get him. And it could have prevented this whole shootout. So that was another mistake that was made. And then they looked into that, how to expedite getting information when they're going after major criminals like this. Anyway, I'm just giving a short synopsis of this. If this is something you find interesting, again, one more time, if you go in my description box in my live here, you'll see all the stuff about the show, my YouTube live rules, and then you'll see FBI Files 1986 Miami Shootout, and I got the video link. It's a great documentary show, the FBI Files, and then they showcase the whole shootout in detail, and they reenact it. Really good job, as well as you can watch the first half hour about these guys and what they were doing and how everything happened and when it happened. But yeah, I always enjoy history. It was something to learn by. Real quick here, I thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm going to hit the live chat for a second. I got my little notepad here. I'm going to be doing a YouTube tribute video. It's for everybody on my live here. So let me put a couple more people in here. C. Miller TV, I got you. You're going in the tribute video. C. Miller. Donut Toys and Games, thank you so much for coming. Donut Toys and Games. Richmond Language Academy. Yes, my friend from Japan. And I'm going to do some channel drops here for you guys and talk about your channels before I move on to the next topic. Sounds interesting. We'll watch. Yeah, Richmond. It's kind of like if you ever seen that movie, a couple of movies, Heat, with Al Pacino in that, and Robert De Niro, the bank robber movie, or Point Break, where Patrick Swayze, where they rob the banks. But this is real life, yeah. In the FBI Files, the show, really great show, and it documents all true cases of what's happened. That's the FBI Files. But this 1986 Miami Shootout, yeah. Richmond Language Academy, okay. I'm going to put you in the tribute video. All right. Prin Victor. Let me get you in here. Prin Victor. Okay. I have, yep, CO Biloxi. All right. Let me get a few more channel drops here. And feel free to network with each other as well. And what I say by network real quick, all right? It's not a sub for sub. This is the difference. 3 things. I said it earlier. I'll say it one more time. Go through their... my connection again. Here we are. Go through, find a video that's 7 or 8 minutes, a 10-minute video or less. Watch it full, drop a like, drop a thumbs up, and leave a nice comment. Let them know you were there, you watched the video, and they'll see that you subscribe to the channel and return a favor. That's networking. All right, hold on. Let me do a couple channel drops here real quick. Let me start off here with Richard. And then I'm going to go through the chat here, and we'll talk about the Miami Shootout and any questions you guys might have before we move on to the next topic. All righty. Now, Richmond Language Academy, he does some very informative videos as far as a couple of them I liked. He did one on how to spot somebody who's lying. Their body language stuff, and some of the verbal too, not so much what they're saying, how they lie, but somebody who will delay in saying something is a sign they're lying, as well as other things too. But he's got some really interesting content on his channel, which I love. So yeah, if you're not connected with Richmond, go check out his channel. Like I say, if you subscribe to Richmond Language Academy, watch one of his videos in full, drop a like and a comment. Genuine YouTuber. He'll come back and return the favor. Believe you me. He's here on my live. Prin Victor, my friend from the Philippines, thank you so much for coming. A true YouTube friend of mine for quite a while now. Great channel. If you're not connected with Prin Victor, definitely get connected with him. Believe me, he will come over to your channel quite often and watch your stuff, and just a great YouTube friend to have. And he's got a lot of different content he puts on his channel, Prin Victor, from cooking, different things, from cooking to fun videos he films around the Philippines. But I'm going to do a channel drop here for Prin Victor, my friend from the Philippines. And then I'm going to get to your comments here in the live. I'm just doing a quick few channel drops here. Donut Toys and Games. Longtime YouTube friend of mine. Like I say, he did like Prin Victor. Donut Toys and Games is a good person to connect with. I got 2 more channel drops, and I'm going to get your comments in the chat. So bear with me, everybody. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, Donut Toys and Games. Let me get you in here. All right. And we'll move on to my next topic. Boom. Okay. C. Miller, my friend who lives in New York City. He's from Jamaica. Gosh, he's done challenge videos, live broadcast. He'll talk about some news topics. He has an array of stuff, and just a terrific YouTube friend as well. My friend C. Miller, someone to definitely get connected with. And as he says on his channel sometimes, up, up, and up. Yes, my good friend C. Miller TV. All right, channel drop here for C. Miller TV. Paste. Okay. All right, let me get to the chat comments here, everybody. Yes, definitely connect with my friends. We're all here to network with each other as well. Like I say, subscribe to the channel, watch one of the videos in full, drop a like and a comment, make your presence known. All genuine YouTubers I know here. Definitely connect with them for sure. I do have I put in my community tab real quick, and I'm going to get to the chat. I have a friend of mine, Novik, and he needs I think 500 some watch hours, and he's got 9 days to get his channel monetized, and he's running lives. But he's a genuine YouTuber. He'll come to your channel, believe me, and then he'll watch your stuff as well. So check that out in my community tab later. Anyway, let me get to the live chat here. Richmond Language Academy. Sounds interesting. Okay, yeah, thanks, Richmond. Yeah, I think you're going to like that FBI Files show. It's in my description box, the YouTube link. You check it out later. Reloading speed, bullet capacity are big factors. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, too, another thing was somewhat similar was the Los Angeles Hollywood shootout, they called it. It was 97 or 98. These 2 bank robbers, they came in, robbed the bank, and they were jacked up on some PSP or LSD it was, and they wore body armor, and they came out with these AK-47s, and they just opened up. And what the law enforcement, they had semi-automatic pistols, but what they learned at that time, a lesson that came out of that was they started putting these AR-15 assault rifles in the trunks of their car. So when they have these active shooter type situations like that one, it was a Bank of America branch in the late 90s. So a lot of police departments started doing that. So when, they were faced with someone coming out with that type of gun, instead of having just a semi-automatic pistol, they had those assault rifles as well as these active shooter situations. So yeah, I mean, it's tragic that sometimes lives had to be taken, but lessons get learned. Yeah, that's true. I prefer a Glock. Yeah, Glock is a very reliable handgun. Smith and Wesson makes the M&P series handgun similar to the Glock, and then SIG, which is short for a 6 hour. They make good handguns as well. Yeah. The one advantage with the revolver is that you won't have a jam, but that's a very rare thing that happens. If somebody has a magazine that they've loaded with bullets and it's been like that for 10 years, sometimes it could jam up in a pistol revolver and you got to clear it. But that's really getting technical. I'm not going to get too far into the guns. Any other comments here? Big share life's blessings. Okay. Oh, something shout outs. Does this include school shout outs? School shout outs. All right. Okay. Let me do a thank you for coming and move on to my next topic here. Boom. I'm going to get a sip of Red Bull. Gosh, I got so much in it. I forget my next. Oh, yeah, this one's a real brief one. I got some news here about the new James Bond movie. I'm a big James Bond fan. It's been delayed, and why it's get delayed. The new James Bond movie coming out. Here's a news article from Deadline. It's called No Time to Die, and it has the same actor in it. What's his name again? Daniel Craig. Let me get into this. It's a short little article. I love watching James Bond. Any rate, MGM's No Time to Die is officially heading to April 2nd, 2021, Easter weekend, and vacating its November 20th, 2020, that's next month, release date. MGM, Universal, and Bond producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. That's, I believe she's the daughter or sister of Albert Broccoli. Today announced that the release date of No Time to Die, the 25th film in the James Bond series, will be delayed until April 2nd, 2021, in order to be seen by a worldwide theater audience. We will understand the delay will be disappointing to our fans, but we now look forward to sharing No Time to Die next year, said the studio in a statement. No Time to Die stands to make $1 billion worldwide. Given that it makes sense to release it, is what is expected to be Craig. That's Daniel Craig's final film. He's the male actor in it, playing Bond, and this is supposed to be his final film. Two things that I've heard, through the rumor mill on social media, is that one with Daniel Craig is one, he is getting older, and like I felt Pierce Brosnan was just as good as Sean Connery, one of the great James Bond, but after he did that movie in 2002 with Halle Berry, Die Another Day, they felt he was looking a little too old for the part, and they wanted to search for another James Bond. And I've been hearing the rumor mill is that because this is the last one on Daniel Craig's contract. Jamming basically depends on the situation. Yeah, that's true. That's true on the handguns. And I'll get to that 1 second, Richmond, and I'll just finish this up. The other thing I heard was the last James Bond movie Daniel Craig did. I think it was Spectre. There was something with the movie, and he wasn't happy with the production team that do the James Bond here, the James Bond movies I just mentioned with Barbara Broccoli and Wilson. But anyway, there's been rumors he doesn't want to be involved in it no more. So with that being said, I do believe that this will be Daniel Craig's final James Bond film, and that's been pushed back till next year, so we just have to wait. It's just as much as I was really geeked up to watch Top Gun 2 with Tom Cruise, the sequel, and that was supposed to come out in July, and now that's been pushed back till December. In the chat here, Richmond Language Academy, I agree with about the jamming. Basically depends on the situation. Revolvers are good backup pistols. Yes, they are. One saying that people that are big on revolvers say, hey, my 6 shots, I know they're going to go off. Meaning that there's also a thing they call, now I might be getting a little too technical if you're not too familiar with firearms, so bear with me a second. They call it the stovepiping, when the case, after a bullet around is fired and the bullet leaves the barrel, the slide comes back like this, and the bullet gets thrown out, but it gets caught up in there. So you got to take your hand and get that casing, not the bullet, but the casing loose. And they call that a jam with a semi-automatic pistol. You ain't going to have that with a revolver. So there are, slight advantages that, having the revolver versus a pistol. But that was a major lesson learned with the Miami shootout, why most law enforcement today, whether it's local, state, federal, carry semi-automatic pistols versus revolvers. The vast majority, I should say. Sad. I like Daniel Craig. Yeah, I like Daniel Craig. The only little thing I got about him, he looks great for the role, but when he says his lines and stuff, I just feel Daniel Craig doesn't quite deliver like Pierce Brosnan did. But I'm getting very, very picky and technical because I'm a big Bond fan. But yeah, um, I felt Daniel Craig's best movie he's done, and it's one of my favorite Bond movies. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. Was Skyfall. Man, was that a great movie, Skyfall. Whew. But yeah, with this virus outbreak, especially with Hollywood, and I'm sure it's this way whether you're in Japan or the Philippines where they shoot movies, they spend millions of dollars on this. So if they just release it, let's say to DVD, Blu-ray, pay-per-view, through Netflix and Amazon, they stand to lose a lot of money. So that's why some of these major films, like, for example, Top Gun 2 with Tom Cruise and the James Bond movie, they're going to just back it up, and because they want to get it released in the theater, and hopefully, depending if things go good, these theaters open back up, because there's just a lot of money that stands to be lost if they can't get their film to the theater. You're Oh gosh, sometimes I think I have to check. I'd have to check the internet. I don't want to speak, what I don't quite know, but I do believe some of these movies, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars they have invested in it. So they're looking to trying to make that back within the first couple of weeks in the box office. And if they skip that part and go straight to Blu-ray or Amazon with a movie, it's a lot of money, being lost in that business from companies like Sony Pictures, MGM, and so forth. So yeah, Skyfall, I seen it. Is good Bond film. My favorite though. Oh, Casino Royale. You know what? I like about Casino Royale was my favorite part was that first movie when Daniel Craig was chasing that guy, and I think it was in Africa where it takes place in Nigeria or somewhere. But he goes on a foot chase after this guy. It's kind of like they take away, there's a little bit of action with the bullets flying, but he goes up on this huge crane and this guy's jumping and doing flips and Daniel Craig is going after him. Oh my God, what a cool scene. That was my most memorable part from Casino Royale. And yeah, yeah. Now that one movie was, I got to be honest, was really, really, really bad that Daniel Craig did. It was after Casino Royale. Um, that one guy, he was way out in the desert. It was something to deal with the oil and the water. Oh God, it was before Skyfall and after Casino Royale, a Daniel Craig James Bond movie, and it was terrible. But that happens, Hey, anyway, this is something fun to talk about. The Y2K scare. Let me get a drink of my Red Bull, and I'm going to talk about this. Okay, I don't know if some of you may have heard about this, some of you maybe haven't. The Y2K scare. This was a big scare that went out on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 1999, going into New Year's Day, January 1st, year 2000. And I'll tell you some of my own experiences with this. What I remember, I was in my early 20s. But let me read this little small portion and explain what the actual Y2K scare was. Okay, and this is from Wikipedia. The year 2000 problem, also known as the Y2K problem or the Y2K scare, the millennium bug, the Y2K bug, the Y2K glitch, okay, refers to events related to the formatting and storage of calendar data for dates beginning in the year 2000. Problems were anticipated and arose because many programs represented 4-digit years with only the final 2 digits, making the year 2000 indistinguishable, meaning it's hard to understand. I'm having a hard time pronouncing the word distinguishable from the year 1900 because it was 00. The anticipation of the 20th century date in such programs could cause uh, a number of errors and problems and issues, such as the incorrect display of dates and inaccurate ordering of automated dated records or real-time events. Okay, that's from Wikipedia, and then they go into more, but I'm not going to bore you too much. Oh, Life of Naya, thank you for coming. I'm talking about the Y2K scare, the Y2K problem, Y2K scare. Okay, now what's going to be interesting here, and I'll put you in a tribute video, Life of Naya. I'm going to talk about a few of my own memories from this. On December 31st, 1999, and January 1st, the year 2000. One thing I remember that happened where I was working, they're Borg Warner now. I used to work at the Delphi World headquarters. It was in Troy, Michigan, which is just a suburb of Detroit, Michigan. And this city, well, suburb city, and there was a few others, it got so scary. They were afraid that all the traffic lights would just go out and stop working. They were going to have major computer glitches with this. So they actually went around and got stop signs and put stop signs everywhere. And they put garbage bags over, and they had police and fire and volunteers that were going to be on standby. So if all the traffic lights and computers started stop working and had a major glitch, they were going to go around and put the stop signs up. That was one of the things they were in preparation for with this Y2K bug or problem they were anticipating. What else was it? Oh, my workplace. Okay, I was off that night on the New Year's Eve, December 31st, 1999, and a friend of mine, I was over at his house with his family and his friends and people I know, and we're drinking and eating and playing cards and having a fun old time. And I remember, forget when I was working at Delphi, they wanted me to offer me overtime to come in. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need money that bad. I'm in my early 20s. I want to enjoy New Year's Eve and drink and eat and have fun. And that's exactly what I did. But that scare was looming. And before the actual Dick Clark at the time was very famous, he did the ball drop. And they were all, before that happened, the news and stuff, they were all talking about this Y2K bug. And, computers might stop working. And like I said, the traffic lights and all this stuff was all getting talked about and people all worked up. Not a damn thing happened. Everything went fine. But anyway, my workplace, my boss came out there. The engineer on call, he was in the building at that time. They all had to show up, I think, at 10:30 or 11. And then they had, I think, 5 or 6 people from their IT, information technology department there at Delphi for like a 4-hour time period in case all the computers went down and they were trying to back everything up on these disks and hard drives. And anyway, the team was all there and they were all sitting around. They were just waiting for the computers to crash, the lights to go out, all this stuff to happen. Only damn thing that happened, the ball dropped and it was Happy New Year. And about a half hour later, everything was fine. Everybody went home. I'm like, I was glad I was having the time of my life, man. I was playing cards and drinking and eating and having fun. But yeah, that was a true incident. You can look it up on Wikipedia, Google, the Y2K bug, the Y2K glitch, or just put in Y2K problem. It's also referred to as the Y2K scare. Like, everybody got scared of it and nothing ended up happening. But my gosh, I can remember, I think it was like October of 1999, September, they were talking about it on the news and it was getting ramped up more and more in the papers as well. Warning people, you should take your money out of the bank and you should do this, you should do that. Anything on your computer, make sure you back it up. The Y2K bug, blah, 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 blah. Nothing ended up happening. There's a lot of YouTube videos on this, on the Y2K problem. But that was something I remember briefly. My employer everybody came out and they expecting all this stuff to happen and everything was fine. Anyway, there's something that I thought I would talk about here. Life of Naya. Let me write it down. I'll put you in for the tribute video. I'll do a tribute video. Life of Naya. YA06. Oh, okay. Thank you for coming. Yes, yes, my friend. You're I see you on Novak's channel. Yes. I'll get you in the tribute video is here. I'm just writing this down. I'm gonna get to my next topic. All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. We'll network with each other as well. AVGAIKWAD. Oh, Elliot Family of 7. Thank you for coming. All right, let me take a note here. Elliot Family of 7. Okay, before I move on to my next story, I'm going to get a little bit into the sports with this. Will be a fun one here because I am a Bears fan, Chicago Bears. There's my jersey. It's the what was it again? Oh yeah, I don't want to say it wrong. I know what it is, but the top 10 Super Bowls of all time from the Sporting News. So if you like football, don't go anywhere. Why am I going to wait a second to do this? I got a couple channel drops to do. One more time again. Sorry if I bore you if you've been here earlier and I said this. We'll network with each other. That means 3 things. Subscribe to someone's channel you don't know. Watch one of their videos in full. No 2 minutes, no 5 minutes. Pick out a 10-minute video, go through their channel, watch it in full. Third thing, drop a like and a nice comment, and they'll return the favor. Easy, simple. Great way to network. You know, another thing I'll bring up here real quick, why it's good to go to other people's channels too. Not just to say, I need to help build up mine. You get ideas. Not meaning you have to copy exactly what they do. But let's say you go to Elliot Family 7. He does a lot of mukbang and he talks about food as well as shopping haul videos. He might do something, let's say, with Jimmy John's, or he does a video how to make homemade spaghetti. And you're like, you know what? There's something similar to that I cook. I do this great lasagna. You just got the idea from going to Elliot Family of 7s. And that's happened with me. I've gotten ideas from going to other people's channels. Okay, real quick, let me do a couple channel drops, and then we'll get into the fun talk here about the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. You know it. If you're not a big football or sports fan, stick around. I have some other fun stuff to talk about. Elliot Family of 7. Okay, here we go. Channel drop coming up. Kaboosh. And okay. Oh, you're welcome. Sorry. Oh, no problem being late. I'm just glad you stopped by. Thank you. Oh, yes, it is. It's important to network. Yeah, genuine networking. You got it. You're more than welcome. And I got one here, my friend from Novik's channel. Let me get you in here. I did a community post for a friend of mine, Novik. He has, I believe, 7 or 8 days left to reach another 400 or 500 watch hours, something like that, to get monetized. So he's in my community post if you get time. He is a genuine friend of mine. If you want, check out his channel, and then he's a genuine YouTuber. He'll come back and replay the favor. Okay, what do I have? Let me try to make sure. ABHINAV. Making sure I got your channel here because there's a few of them that have your same name. Wow. Gridwall. I just woke up. Oh, mine? I'm very, very close. These last few videos, the Cadillac video, the motor video I did, me and my buddy at the junkyard, I'm about a week, 2 weeks away at most, and I'm going to be monetized. And then I started my channel in January of 2020. So I still got plenty of time. I'm only like 2 weeks away. I'm thinking about like 500 hours away, if that. Anyway, where am I here? I'm going to, please don't write this channel name without Alvin Gaming. Here's what I'm going to do, sir, for you. 1 second. Oh, dang it. I'm trying to, 1 second. I'm trying to get, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to make you a mod. I'm going to give you the blue wrench. give yourself a channel drop, because I'm not pulling up your Quite channel. Just put in, like, you know, give me another thumbs up or okay. You'll see the blue wrench. Take your channel, do a channel drop, put it in there. And do me one more favor. Oh, great, perfect. Put a comment when you're done on the live. Go in my comment box below my live. Just put in hello or enjoyed your LS, whatever, and that way I can grab your channel, because I'm putting your name in, but I'm pulling up like 5 different ones to just make it easier for me, because I'm going to put you in the tribute video. Real quick, who else? Oh, Life of Naya. Okay. Life of Naya, Lemmy 06. Life of Naya's terrific friend. She's always here for my lives. A great YouTube friend to be connected with. Genuine YouTuber. You can definitely network with her. Oh, you have a new picture on Life of Naya? Okay, I'll do a fresh screenshot of you for the tribute video for sure. Let me get you a channel drop here, Life of Naya 06. And kaboom. Okay, here we go. Richmond Language Academy. I think I got you in for a channel drop. Let me check. Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. I am full. I am working but listening. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Chic International. Hello, everybody. Okay. Let me get you a channel drop here. Copy. All right, one more channel drop, and then I'll move on to the fun talk here about the Super Bowl. So if you're here, just stick and stay. Bear with me a minute. I try to do a channel drop so we can all network with each other. Another good friend of mine here. I got you. I got you. Copy. Let me put you in. You're more than welcome. And I encourage genuine networking, genuine channels. So let me write you down for the tribute video, because you are here in my live. And then we'll get into the next topic here. Chic. INTERATIONal connection. TION. Oh, okay. Okay, that's your gaming channel. Great. Do me a favor too. Like I say, just put a comment in my description box when you're done on the live here, and this way I can shortcut to your channel for the tribute video. Just makes it easier for me if you wouldn't mind. You can put in, hey, enjoyed your LS, you know, life is good, thumbs up, whatever. All right. Again, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much. You know, that's one of those things too, is I've talked about, I'll just make this one short, and then I'll move on here to the Super Bowl thing here. This is fun. A lot of people do their videos. Just my own opinion. So, hey, you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't, whatever. And they'll have in the intro as well as at the end of the video, they'll say a lot of times during the video is like, share, subscribe, okay? And I've talked about givers and takers, but a lot of people it is my pleasure having you here. A lot of people don't take a second during their video and say thank you or I appreciate. You know, that's why, like, if you watched any of my videos, like my product reviews, my drink reviews, some other ones, always come across this way, and this is the way that I would recommend doing it. It's proven that if you say subscribe and like in your video, you're going to have much more success of people doing that versus if you don't. But what you want to do, like I do in mine, I appreciate all my subscribers, and thank you so much for dropping those likes and comments. Really, really appreciate it. You know, something of that nature. But do a thank you and appreciate to your subscribers and your people that help keep you afloat on YouTube and watch your content. You know, because they'll be like, share, subscribe, and then they do all this. Bing, bing, bing. Or they have their fancy intro. But not once do I hear thank you or I appreciate. You know, it's just like one of my pet peeves. I don't like it, kind of rubs me wrong. And I'll still come on the live. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up. And that's just what I'm about to talk about here real quick, and then I'll get into the Super Bowls. But somebody will be on the live, okay? And I'll come on their live. And what I'll put in the chat like a thumbs up for your LS, or, hello, everybody. They'll go, my channel's InfoSpot 411. They'll say, oh, InfoSpot 411. Hello. And they'll go, my connection again. Man, this drives me crazy. My connection's cutting in and out of the internet. Thumbs up my live. Make sure you give it a like. Okay, I only got 8 likes. I see 9 people here. InfoSpot. Give me a like. Give me a like. No. You welcome somebody. Hey, thanks for coming. I'm glad you're here. Just something simple as that. And you know what? If you're caught up in the likes and that's your thing, that's your thing. But here's the deal. Earn somebody's like, okay? Earn it. Do your live. Be welcome. Really, come across nice to people. Earn that like from them. But to approach somebody when they first come on and bombard them, like it up. I see it. That you don't do a live like that. That drives me nuts. Just one of my little pet peeves. Let me check the live chat. We're going to talk some little football here, everybody. At least I always say thank you and see you next time. Yes. Yeah, and that's great. Then, like I say, at least once in your video or live, Richmond, and yeah, that's cool if you do that. Just make sure the people that come, just say thanks and I appreciate it. Something like that. A lot of people forget that. Just a little bit of kindness goes a long way. Any rate, here we go. This is the National Football League, and I'll bring my jersey up. I'll pull it up. Bears fan, Chicago Bears fan. Okay, as I'm sure you probably know, it's the biggest sporting event, yearly annual sporting event, is the Super Bowl. Okay, and that's the top team from the AFC Conference, American Football Conference, and the NFC, the National Football Conference. They play once a year, and I think it's the first weekend in February. Sometimes it's been the last weekend in January. Martin Magic Videos, thank you for coming. Awesome. Can't stay here long. You're awesome. Oh, thank you so much. I'll put you in the tribute video, Martin Magic Videos. Definitely. Anyway, let me get to it. Okay, I'm going to start from number 10 and work my way down. Now, this is the top 10 Super Bowls of all time by the Sporting News. This is from the Sporting News. Okay. Let me read what they got here. This is kind of a cool article. I'm a big football fan. There have been many great Super Bowls played over the game's history, making it difficult to pick out the absolute 10 best of all time. But some stand out because how competitive and thrilling they were, while also carrying a lasting legacy. Mr. Beast came to Novak Stream. Okay. Cool. Number 10 was Super Bowl 13. This was the Steelers and Cowboys from 1979. The Steelers won 35-31. That was a close one. Number 9 on the list, and I'll have some little information on these. And this has got some past Super Bowls as well as some current ones you're probably going to remember. Is Super Bowl 43. This one I remember. This is from 2009. It was the Steelers versus the Cardinals. The Steelers won 27-23. And it says here, and I'm going to share my own memory from this Super Bowl. This is the 9th best Super Bowl of all time, ranked by the Sporting News. Oh, thank you, Martin Magic Videos. I appreciate you stopping by and a thumbs up. Okay, number 9, yep. Super Bowl 43, 2009, Steelers 27, beat the Cardinals. And the Cardinals scored 23. Okay. The Steelers won their record 6th Super Bowl. Kurt Warner was the quarterback of the Cardinals, a losing team. Didn't win the game, but his performance helped get him into the Hall of Fame. Kurt Warner won a previous Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams, and he lost in that one. But what the Sporting News left out was a big memorable play from this Super Bowl, the Steelers and Cardinals. It was a defensive end player that caught an interception, and he ran, I think it was like 70-some yards. And this was a big husky guy. This guy got so winded and out of breath. Once by the time he got down to the end zone, because where he caught it, there was no one near him. And by the time the other team caught up to him, he was right near the end zone. But he wasn't built like a wide receiver, tight end, or a cornerback who, was skinny, lean, and thin and can run. Big husky guy, defensive lineman with the Steelers. He was so out of breath. Once he got that touchdown, ran the ball back on an interception, or it was a fumble recovery interception. It was one of the two. Anyway, he ran it back 70 yards. And when I remember, and this was in the Super Bowl, he went on the sideline, and the first thing they had to do was put oxygen on him. And they do that for some of the football players. They have those oxygen tanks. They put the mask on when they get out of breath, especially in Denver. They call it Mile High Stadium because it's so high above sea level, and some of the players are out of breath. But this guy ran it back. He wasn't in shape to do the 70-yard dash run. It was just all adrenaline. But by the time he got done with it, he was so out of breath, they had to hook this guy up on oxygen. And as soon as he got on the sideline bench, man, he just crashed out on the bench and was like this, and they had to put the oxygen on him. And I believe they still have it in sports highlights and on the YouTube. That was the Super Bowl 43 Steelers and Cardinals from 2009. Okay, number 8 Super Bowl of all time was Super Bowl 3. That was from 1969. New York Jets beat the Baltimore Colts, and that was 16-7. Now, here's what the sporting news has, and what I'll say. All right. The victory helped transform the AFL. That at that time they were the American Football League, and they later became the American Football Conference. And NFL World Championship game into a game now we call the Super Bowl. Joe Namath went down as the ultimate New York celebrity with plenty crossover appeal, and the Jets have been searching for the same kind of success since. What was very memorable from the 1969 Super Bowl 3 Jets versus Colts was Joe Namath came out with this famous line. It was called the Super Bowl Guarantee. He was on a chair or something, like a lounge chair, and some reporters came up. It was a week before the Super Bowl, and he says, "I guarantee you we're going to win the Super Bowl." He goes, "This is the Super Bowl guarantee." And the were favored to win that Super Bowl. And after the Jets won with Joe Namath, it went down in history as the Super Bowl guarantee because he guaranteed he was going to win it, and he came out and delivered on it. Joe Namath is still alive, and he comes on some of the Monday night or Sunday night football games, and he's done interviews before. Joe Namath has. Any rate, moving on. Number 7, the 7th greatest Super Bowl of all time. This one, I remember this one. The Patriots and the Rams from 2002. This was the 2001 season, and the Super Bowl was in late January, I believe it was, early February 2002. This was Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win. And this is what the sporting news has. What we looked at the time was an out-of-nowhere upset that wound up running the potential Rams' destiny and setting the stage for the big Patriots legacy with the first win from Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and New England would go on to win many more Super Bowls. Now, Super Bowl 36, this was in 2002 with the Patriots and the Rams. What else was significant about this was the Rams won a Super Bowl 2 years earlier, and they had one of the greatest running backs ever to play the game, Marshall Faulk, on that team at the time, and he was unbelievably good. And I mean, Kurt Warner was on this team. Kurt Warner won the Super Bowl 2 years earlier. So anyway, they had such an Isaac Bruce was one of the wide receivers with the Rams. The Rams had a very explosive, high-scoring offense. And this game got really down and dirty and nitty-gritty. It was a dogfight. And the Patriots ended up winning at the end with Mike Vinatieri. And I think last year he just retired. Last year was his final year, and he just retired, the kicker with the Patriots at the time. They made a long field goal at the end to win the game, and it was a close game. And this is the first one the Patriots won with the Belichick and Brady era, and they would just go on to win many more Super Bowls, and that was so significant. And it was such a hard-fought game. That's the 7th best Super Bowl of all time, Super Bowl 36, Patriots and Rams. Okay, moving on. The 6th best Super Bowl of all time by the Sporting News. And this one I remember big time. Super Bowl 34, the year 2000. Now, this was the 1999 season, and it was in January, February of 2000. The Rams and the Titans. The Rams 23, Titans 16. Here we go. Rams coach Dick Vermeil retired after that season, turning the team over to offensive coordinator Mike Martz. The Rams returned to the Super Bowl 2 years later, but lost a heartbreaker to the Patriots, the one we just talked about. For Warner, who started the Super Bowl and he did another one there with Arizona and St. Louis. 1999 was a key game, and him getting into the Hall of Fame. Now, what the Sporting News is leaving out with the Super Bowl, and this is on YouTube, which had just a like one of the most exciting, thrilling endings to a football game a fan could ask for, was this. This was the Super Bowl, the Titans, and I think it was Steve McNair, if I'm not mistaken, and the wide receiver, they called him the Deuce. I think it was Deuce something was his name. Anyway, they were down to their last time out, and I think there was something like maybe 8 seconds or 9 seconds on the clock left, the last play of the game, and they were only, I believe, like 12 yards out or something, maybe 20 yards out from the end zone. So he throws a pass, boom, and Tennessee got this ball like on their own 5 or 7 yard line with only like a minute and a half, and I think 1 timeout, and they marched all the way down, and they needed a touchdown to tie up the game, to send it in overtime and have a chance at winning it. And man, did they march down the field just like clockwork. The Rams were having a tough time stopping them. But it got down to a final play because the play clock, they were out of timeouts, and I think there was only like I said, 8 or 9 seconds left on that clock. No timeouts. This wide receiver, Tennessee Titans, catches the ball, and the guy with the Rams was near him, sacks him, and he grabs his leg, and he falls down, reaches his arm out. I'm trying to simulate a little bit, but he reaches his arm out like this, and he's like about 1 yard short, or I think 1.5 yards short from the end zone. When he finally reaches his arm out and he falls down, the time runs out. If they would have had a timeout and a few more seconds, they would have had a chance to tie it up. But it was so thrilling, that Super Bowl, because in a minute and a half, how far they moved the ball down the field and how quick they did it. And that last play of the game, he was just a yard short from touching the end zone and tying up the game. But that's how it goes sometimes. And the Ram fans were like on the edge of their seat, like, oh no, we're looking at overtime. The momentum is shifted. Tennessee is just tearing apart our defense. I don't know if we're going to hold on to this. And they were just lucky enough by the way that how much the time clock was left. Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. So anyway, Super Bowl 34, Rams versus Titans, January 2000. That was the 6th best Super Bowl. And that ending of the Super Bowl made it so memorable, and that's why it's on the list. Number 5, the 5th best Super Bowl of all time, according to Sporting News, Super Bowl 49. 2015, Patriots versus Seahawks. The Patriots win 28-24. And this is what the Sporting News has, and I'll tell you what I remember from this game. In the short term, it'll be remembered for Seattle being intercepted at the goal line with less than a minute left by Malcolm Butler. He was a defensive player with the Patriots. After a questionable decision to pass by the Seahawks coach. Oh, God, I'm forgetting his name. He still coaches them. Anyway, and as well, it will be more about Tom Brady cementing his 4th Super Bowl ring with this game and the 4th quarter comeback against a great Seattle defense. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And the thing I remember with the Super Bowl was, and boy, oh boy, did Seattle fans get mad, was Marshawn Lynch, one of the best running backs, that year. I think he was the best in the league that year in the NFL, and he's up there as far as one of the greatest running backs. He, even when he was being stopped, he was still gaining 2 or 3 yards. Even if there wasn't much of a hole, he would punch it through for a few yards to get a touchdown. Well, the Seattle Seahawks coach, and he's still coaching the Seahawks today, and I'm forgetting his name for the life of me. He decided to go with the trick play. He decided to fake the run to Marshawn Lynch and have Russell Wilson do a quick little dump off pass. Well, Malcolm Butler, Patriots defense player, was watching this, and he was ready for it because he had a feeling later, he said, that they might try this play. Fake that run, bring in the line, and do a short little dump-off pass. Well, Russell did it, and Malcolm Butler intercepted him, got the ball, and they won it. And everybody that was a Seahawks fan was saying, why wouldn't you run the ball? They couldn't stop Marshawn. And that was the thing. And what I believe they still had another play left to go. I mean, it wasn't like that was the last play of the game and it was like, okay, make your mind up on a play. They could have went, oh, no problem, Life and I. Thank you for coming back. Talking about the greatest Super Bowls of all time. So I'll get to that in just a second, Bloxy, about what happened. So anyway, yeah, the Patriots stole it. And it was just a bad call and a dumb call. He thought he would showboat in that. It's the old saying, if the wheel isn't broke, don't fix it. And deciding to do this little dump off pass instead of having Marshawn Lynch run the ball in the end zone cost them the Super Bowl. Mistakes are made by the best of people. Now, maybe they would have stopped Marshawn Lynch and you say, okay, well, let's try this play. We'll fake it the second time. But it was just a real bad call, even though the other team cheated last year. Yeah, this was in 2015. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Yes, the Patriots have been caught cheating different times, from the Spygate scandal against the Jets and illegally getting their play calling and the Deflategate and other issues. Yep. Anyway, okay, number 4 on the list is Super Bowl 23, 1989, the 49ers and the Bengals. The 49ers won 20-16. I know the 49ers and Bengals played each other twice, and I can't remember if this was a Super Bowl, but there was one of them with Joe Montana and the 49ers, and the defense of the 49ers stopped the Bengals 4 times right at the end zone. They were like 3 yards out, and they called it the great Super Bowl goal line stand of all time. Oh, no, you're fine with emojis. I'll address that in just a second. A lot of people are speaking out their rear end on this YouTube chat with this emojis, and I'll address that. You're more than fine, Life and Naya, with your emojis. Okay, I got 3 more greatest Super Bowls of all time, but real quick, a lot of people on YouTube saying, oh, don't use emojis in the live. It could be, no. You can use emojis. YouTube puts them there for you to use. The only thing you don't want to do is put in 6 or 8 emojis, 4 or 5 emojis, or someone who's putting in 2 emojis 5 or 6 times in a row, then that's considered spammy. Okay, but using an emoji itself is not considered spamming. YouTube puts them there. What happens is a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction, and they hear one person say this and one person say that, and they haven't read the YouTube community guidelines and see that there's nothing said there. And believe me, if it was actually spamming, why would YouTube even put them there? So if you want to leave a couple emojis, go ahead. Like I say, the only thing you don't want to do is use 2 emojis, 3 emojis, and post it 4 times in a row, because that could be considered spamming. But if you want to do a thumbs up, a smiley face, a heart, whatever you want, have fun. Okay? You know it. There you go. You got it. Okay, here we go, everybody. The greatest 3 Super Bowls of all time. Here we are. If you're not an NFL fan, hang in. I got a couple more things to talk about. Number 3, And something the Sporting News left out of here that was very significant with the Super Bowl. Very, very significant. And it wasn't even football. Okay, here we are. Number 3 was Super Bowl 25, everybody. Giants versus the Bills. The Giants won 20-19, and this was 1991. The Giants had won Bill Parcells his second ring in 5 years, and then cemented his status as one of the most premier coaches in the NFL. The Bills would return the next 3 Super Bowls and lose the next 3, one against the Redskins and the following 2 against the Cowboys. And instead of being known as the AFC powerhouse that won the conference championship, the Buffalo Bills, 4 years in a row, the Bills would go down to be known as the 4-time losing team. Beast left Novak, did not get a chance to talk to him. Oh, okay. Betts left Novak, did not. Oh, okay, no problem. I appreciate you being here. Yep. Oh, with the Super Bowl. Okay, Super Bowl 25, 1991. So this is late January 1991. What was also very significant, what was going on in January 1991? The Persian Gulf War. Now, keep in mind, until 1990 and 91, the United States hasn't been involved in a major war since Vietnam. So a lot of people were very, very concerned. And this was a major war going on over in the Gulf. That's when Iraq took over Kuwait. And George Bush, former President George Bush, said, hey, you got so many days to get out of Kuwait along with the United Nations, and we're coming in. So they were in the middle of a war right now. What happened, the NFL did that was so significant, they brought out Whitney Houston, the greatest female singer of all time. And Whitney Houston, I mean, knocked it out of the ballpark. It's on YouTube singing the national anthem on that game. And I was in high school at the time, and I remember a lot of people, they had these yellow ribbons for all the servicemen and women that were deployed overseas, and they were putting them on their houses and trees. And a lot of the American public was very much in fear at that time, is because of so many American lives that were lost with the Vietnam War and how this would play out. And this was just right around the time when the ground troops were going to do a ground invasion after the bombing. So when Whitney came out and did that national anthem and the jets flew by, I mean, it was still known as the best national anthem song of all time at a sporting event, was from that Super Bowl 25. Okay? Sporting News left that out, and that was a very significant, it's one of those iconic type things. The other thing was, on the Super Bowl, was the ending play. The Bills, all they had to do was kick, I think it was a 32-yard field goal to win the Super Bowl, which is not that hard for most. In the kicker, I think it was Scott Norwood was his name, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was Norwood. Anyway, he kicked a lot of like 40-some yard field goals, was a great kicker. Unfortunately, when he got up there, he shanked this kick, and it went wide right. And then they still say that when they use it in some sporting shows, they'll get that sound bite from the commentators. They'll say, Norwood's up to kick. Oh, no, it's wide right, meaning it went wide all to the right, and he shanked the field goal, and the Giants ended up winning it on a shanked field goal. And it was such a heartbreaker to lose a game like that. So those are some significant things that happened for that Super Bowl 25 where the Giants beat the Bills. Okay, 2 more left, the 2 top Super Bowls of all time. Just got a drink here, hydrate myself. Okay, here we are. Number 2, everybody. This is Super Bowl 42 from 2008. Giants versus the Patriots. The Giants beat the Patriots 17-14. Okay, now the Sporting News puts this as the second best Super Bowl of all time. The Giants win went down as the biggest upset in Super Bowl history, considering the circumstances of the Patriots' pursuit of perfection. The Patriots' loss ensued that the 1972 Dolphins, uh, the last team to be an undefeated team for the whole season in the Super Bowl. Okay, the significance of this Super Bowl from 2008 between the Giants and Patriots. This was Eli Manning versus Tom Brady. Two key things. First one is the Sporting News briefly mentions. The Patriots went through the whole regular season undefeated. I mean, just unbelievable. But in December of 2007, the Giants and Patriots played each other in early December, and the Patriots beat the Giants, but not by a lot. So the Giants looked at their video, their scheme. Okay, what went wrong? Why did we lose this game? How can we go beat Tom Brady and get him? And Eli Manning was there. The other significant thing of this game, and it still gets on sports highlight shows, was one of the best catches ever in Super Bowl history. This guy caught the ball one hand, and the Patriots player came in. He fell down on his back, so he took the ball, which is legal, and he pushed the ball against his helmet with his one hand because he had to reach out to catch this ball. And as he fell down, he held the ball against his helmet as he hit the ground in the turf. And it kept that ball from dropping out and becoming like a dead ball, incomplete pass. And it was very crucial on that drive. And then Eli Manning, someone grabbed the back of his jersey and he ducked down and he was moving around scrambling, trying to find someone open. At the last minute, he threw this pass. I'm going to have a nice rest of the night. Okay. So anyway, those are a few significant things for that Super Bowl 42, and that was in 2008, between where the Giants upset the Patriots. And the other thing was nobody was counting on the Giants winning this one. I mean, there were some people say, yeah, they have a chance, but the Patriots undefeated, unstoppable. They already beat the Giants. We see them, underdog came through. So that was significant. Okay, here's Sporting News ranks the best Super Bowl of all time and why. Number one, Super Bowl 51, 2017, the Patriots versus the Falcons. The Patriots win in overtime, 34-28. And I'll talk about my memory of this, but let me read first what the Sporting News has. Tom Brady led the Patriots to their fifth ring in unprecedented, jaw-dropping fashion, getting his team back from being down 21-0 and 28-3 for a thrilling 34-28 overtime victory. The Falcons' Super Bowl collapse would end up being overshadowed by Brady's stamping his status as the best quarterback and player of modern era. I remember I had to work that night. It was on midnight shift. And I was going to stay up and watch that game and change and go to work. Man, I was after halftime. I remember it was like 20-0 or 20-something-3. I said, this thing's all over but the crying. I'm going to go grab myself a couple hours of sleep. I wake up and I'm hearing my alarm clock radio set on the sports station, and they gone, and I'm hearing the after party. The Super Bowl just ended, and I'm hearing the after party of this. Well, I got something on my screen here. Okay, I'm hearing the after party. Like, the Patriots won. How did this happen? They were down 20-some points, but it was an unbelievable comeback, as well as it was the first Super Bowl that went in overtime. So the number one ranked Super Bowl of all time, the best Super Bowl of all time, was Super Bowl 51, 2017, Patriots versus the Falcons. That was a big comeback Super Bowl. This is the Sporting News top 10 Super Bowls of all time. Okay, let me set this over here. And let me double check who's with me. If I didn't get anybody here for my tribute video, I'll just do a quick roll call here. Gotcha. Elliott Family 7, Life of 9. Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, all right. A couple more things here, and we'll get into some general conversation. Oh, this is something good. Let me get a drink here, and I'm going to get into this. I got a news story about Subway, and I have Subway a lot. I can talk and talk. I just got to wet the whistle here. Okay, you know what? I got to change the battery in my light up here. I'll be right back. So stick and stay if you're still here. Give me a second. I'm going to get into the Subway story. Okay. Here we are. Thank you, everybody. Now you can see it's brighter. My light on I have a tripod and I have a portable LED light. The thing is awesome because it doesn't give me too much glare and it's really, really bright. But I have it running on batteries, and the battery is good for about maybe a little over an hour. So I just had to swap out the battery. Okay, we're back in business. 5 people on the live. All right, here's the Subway story. Irish court, this is over in Ireland. Subway sandwich bread is not legally bread. This is October 1st from the United Press International. Let me read this to you. Okay. The Irish Supreme Court ruled the bread is used for sandwiches at franchise Subway chains cannot legally be defined as bread because it contains too much sugar. Wow. The court was hearing an appeal from Subway franchise Bookfinders Ltd. So that's who owns the Subway franchise. On whether the bread for the chain sandwiches would count as a staple food that can be exempt from the Value Added Tax Act of 1972. This is some tax act over in Ireland. The 5-judge court ruled that Subway's bread is not legally defined as bread under the VAT, that's the Value Added Tax Act, because its sugar content is 10% of the weight of the flour used to make the dough. Far more than 2%, that's far more than 2% specified for legal definition of bread under the Act. The appeal stemmed from a 2006 ruling against Bookfinders, that's owner of Subway, which had sought a refund on the value-added tax payments, claiming the bread used to make the sandwiches should be exempt from the tax. The appeal was rejected. So what's important with this, okay? And this is the key thing, is that the sugar content of the bread that Subway uses. So when they cook up, you'll see their stove things. I don't say it's a stove. It's like where their bread maker is. They have the flour. They put their bread out in small little rolls. They have that big glass door and they put it in there and it heats it up and it'll expand. And they have white bread, Italian, honey oat, wheat, and I think there's a couple others. But anyway, it contains around 10% sugar, which most bread should have about 2% sugar. So it's very high in sugar. So, here they are, they told like, oh, Subway is so great, it's so healthy for you, blah, blah, blah. And I admit it, I usually get the honey oat or the wheat bread. It's good. I've had the Italian a couple of times, but maybe that's why it tastes so good. It's just high in sugar content. A lot of sugar in the Subway bread. But they told, what's funny is like they say that you can have a foot-long sub that like is under so many calories, but when you go in, you ask them about it, they say, yeah, it's our vegetarian sub. Well, no, duh. I can go just about anywhere and get a vegetarian sandwich or whatever, and it can be very low in fat and calories, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Subway. The other thing with Subway though which is I think it's their cold cut sub and a couple others, is like all that's pre-packaged meats, and all they do is they slice the bag open because of speed and efficiency. They get 6 or 8 customers. They gotta, get them subs knocked out, ring them up, keep them going. So even their chicken subs, it's not even quite like fresh cooked chicken. It's in the packets. They're like if you get the oven roasted chicken sub, they'll pull that chicken out, put it on the they have that little cooker thing, and they'll put it on the bread, and they'll toss it in that little cooker. It's like a little toaster oven, basically, an oversized toaster oven. And you'll see them real quick hit the button for like 50 seconds to cook up that chicken. So where there, I don't know if there's many around anymore. There's a sub place in Detroit area. There's a few left called Tubby's. And when they do like meats and that, they actually have a grill, an actual flat grill like you see at a restaurant or Coney Island. And they cook up the meats and the poultry. You know, if you get a chicken thing, they cook it right up there. You know, some might take a little longer to make, but it's freshly cooked food. But I found this interesting is the Subway bread is very high in sugar. According to this, it's 10% where it should be around 2%. So, yeah, I found that to be interesting. Any thoughts on that? So, all right, moving on. Moving on. Here's a couple fun news stories. Give you a break from the COVID-19 talk and the politics. Oh, yes. And thanks, man, everybody, for being here. 6 people and alive. You're awesome. Late night show. You know it. A bear rides on top of a garbage truck in Pennsylvania. This is funny, and I'll show you the picture of this, but let me read this first here. Again, this is from the UPI, United Press International. October 2nd, 2020. And I'll show you the picture. Okay, police in Pennsylvania came to the assistance of a garbage crew when the garbage truck arrived at the police department with a hitchhiking bear on top of it. The Kidder Township Police Department, sounds like some kind of like small town, I guess, maybe in Pennsylvania, somewhere it is, posted photos to Facebook showing the bear riding on top of the garbage truck that pulled into the department's parking lot. And it says here, we can only assume it was sick of going for all the small amounts of trash, so the bear decided to go on top of the truck and go for the big prize. Jokingly said Officer Vincent Marlowe, who told the WNEP TV station. Police said that the truck backed up against a tree and a bear safely climbed down on its own. So what they did is they backed the truck up into a big tree, and then the bear got into the tree, and then the truck pulled forward when it pulled in the parking lot. So anyway, let me try to bring this into focus without my computer is having a little bit of problem sometimes when I move too fast. I have an older computer, and I even bought myself a new webcam, and it still does it. But oh, okay. Man, I hate this. It gets, I don't know what the world, something with my computer, getting these blurry lines. See, if I put it down, see that? Oh, here we go. Okay, I just got to hold it steady. But if you look, you could see, this is one of the pictures. There's the big black bear on top of this garbage truck. Man, I'm telling you, if I was in a parking lot or somewhere, I'd be like, what in the hell? A huge black bear on top of the garbage truck. Now, bears do love garbage. I'll tell you that, like grizzly bears and black bears. But anyway, there's a black bear. Here's the garbage truck, and bear got away safely. But kind of a funny story. But I have heard of, like here in Michigan, they have I think it's just before the deer season in mid-November. They have a black bear hunting, and it's by permit. People will pay, I think it's 10 or 20 bucks or something, and they will pick like 500 or 700 people. Oh yeah, you ain't kidding, Elliott, family of 7. I'd get clear out of the way. But anyway, real quick, just something I was just going to make a point here, related to the story somewhat, is in Michigan, a lot of people go up to the Upper Peninsula to go bear hunting. And in that, I think it's something like 1,000 or 700 permits they give away each year. And everybody will send in like a $5, $10 application form, and then they pick so many names, and then they'll mail you a thing if you get your bear permit. But one of the things they use for bear bait to bring in a black bear and shoot a bear is they'll get donuts, food scraps, stuff like that will bring in the bear. I mean, when people go deer hunting for the deer feed, deer bait, they're vegetarians, those animals. A lot of them will use corn, sugar beets, apples, stuff like that. Not black bear. They'll get a lot of food garbage and put that out for the bear to come in. But anyway, yeah, I'd be like, whoa, let me get back in my car and get out of here. There's a bear on top of the garbage truck. UPI, I go to the website often for my lives because they just got some fun news stories. They post a lot of news stories that don't make like CNN, Fox News, ABC World News Tonight, you know. And I like a break from the politics and then the virus talk. So, all right, last up here, we'll maybe do some general conversation. A pickup truck leaves a Florida road and ends up in a swimming pool. Yes, there we go. Let me read this, and I got the picture to show you. I showed this at the start of my live, so stick and stay for a few minutes here. The Florida Highway Patrol said a driver was not injured when his pickup truck left the road and ended up into a resident's backyard swimming pool. The Florida Highway Patrol Orlando station said troopers responded Wednesday when a driver swerved off the road and to avoid a disabled vehicle. The pickup truck crashed through a fence and ended up with its front end in a swimming pool. The 49-year-old driver was not injured in the crash. And this is from the Florida FHP, that's Florida Highway Patrol, tweeted, drivers have to be alert for vehicles in the roadway. So, and I'll show you the picture here in a second, but apparently what happened, there's a vehicle right here. Imagine my fist, the vehicle, car is coming, and it's disabled, meaning it's broke down. So this driver is probably going too damn fast to stop and slow down or not paying attention. So to avoid a head-on crash, swerved and went into somebody's yard. And by the time it got the truck stopped, it went through a fence and boom, right into the pool. Now I'm going to show you the picture. This is for the Twitter page from the Florida Highway Patrol Orlando. Where's my pen? Oh, here we go. Let me just back this up slowly. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a full-size Chevy or Dodge Ram, Ford pickup truck here. Looks kind of like a Chevy pickup truck, but yeah, you can see it's right in this pool here, and wow, that truck just boom. And then I think this is the fence over here, kind of the fence outline. Yep. Wow, that insurance company is going to have to be shelling out a lot of money who's ever insured this driver, because the person's homeowner's insurance, like let's say, for example, the homeowner has State Farm and this driver has Allstate. The State Farm, who's got the homeowner's insurance, they're not going to say, oh, okay, yeah, we insure you, we'll go ahead and pay up. They're going to get that police report and they're going to get the information on what happened. They're going to say, nope, the driver caused this. It's his insurance company. So whoever he's got the auto insurance through, let's say it's Allstate or Nationwide, whatever, they're going to have a hell of a bill to pay. This truck right here, I imagine this caused major damage. You'll have to fix that, let alone the fence, and then they'll probably get one of those the wreckers with the chains. What the hell do they call that? It's the chain goes out with the hook there, and then it reels it in. God, I'm having a brain lapse right now, but yeah, that's going to be a major job, and I know a heck of a bill there for that auto, and his auto insurance. He probably his rates are gonna go sky high, or he'll probably end up having to switch. Because I almost died. Have you ever tried washing a cat? Because I almost died trying. Wow. No, I haven't, Life of Naya. Washing a cat. Could you be a little more specific in that? What do you mean? Did you almost put a cat in the washer, or were you watching some barnyard cat in the backyard or something? I'm just curious here. Have you ever tried washing a cat? Because I almost died trying. I don't know if you could be a little more specific on that. Oh, I put her in the tub to wash her. Oh, so I take it the cat went nuts when you put your cat in like a laundry tub, wash tub to wash your cat, and it went crazy. That's what I take it, that because I know cats do not like water. I'm more of a dog person. I'm not a big cat lover, but I know, yeah, Oh, and this girl tried to bite. Oh, what you meaning the cat tried to bite you and she scratched the floor? Oh, okay. Yeah, cats in general, cats don't like water. That's one way. If you have a cat that comes around the garden a lot, you just get a pot of water or the hose and you hit those cats, they'll take off. I'm a dog person. I'm just Oh, you were cat sitting. Okay, okay, I got you. Wow, all right. Yep. The thing, I'm not big on cats, and if you have cats, that's fine. Don't take it personal. I don't really care for cats when they're running under the couch and all over all over your house or your place where you live, and the whole litter box deal, and going to the bathroom, you got to dump that stuff out off. And I don't know. Uh, well, I do know, but I'm not a big cat person. The owner was like, give her the cat. So I tried. The cats are nasty, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. And then they're really notorious. Well, some dogs are notorious too for tearing up furniture and that. But a lot of people I've known that, a couple of people I've known that had cats, they got to really put some big blankets and stuff over their couch and furniture. They love to scratch up stuff. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. There was a story, as a matter of fact, you made me think of something. Life of Naya 06. There was an old TV show on. It's on YouTube, as a matter of fact. I'm sure you all know or have heard of William Shatner from the Star Trek series. He did the old show in the late 60s into the 70s, and then he did a series of, I think, 5 or 6 movies of Star Trek into the 80s, and he finally was done with it by the 90s. But anyway, William Shatner, he got a job for a few years, and he hosted a show called Rescue 911. And they have the old episodes on YouTube. And one of these episodes, this lady was in her house. Wait, and cats are rude. They don't really care. Okay, I got you. I got you. So anyway, here's a story real quick. And this is a true story. They highlighted this story, reenacted it on Rescue 911. She was at her house, all right, and she's watching the house, I guess, for her sister-in-law or her sister. At any rate, they had this big pet snake, like not a barracuda, there a python, and there's another one that starts with a B. Anyway, I think it was like one of these python snakes, just huge. Well, this snake hasn't eaten in God knows when, and the owner, the family member she was watching the house for like a week or so, had this thing out in the freezer or refrigerator, literally, and this is true. It was like a dead rabbit or a dead squirrel. And they say the snake feeds like once a month or every 2 weeks. You give it this dead squirrel or dead rabbit and just toss it in there and close the cover on the snake. And it's actually, they're like in a fish tank type deal with people who have these pet snakes. I hate snakes, but at any rate, just wrapping the story up real quick. So she gets this dead squirrel or dead rabbit to feed this snake, that eats every 2 weeks or once a month. So this snake was really, really hungry. And just as she gets this rabbit or squirrel, and this takes place, I think it was back in the 80s, because this show was like during the 80s into the early 90s. And the phone rings, and it had one of these like cordless phones. And she grabs the cordless phone, holds it like this in her ear, and she's holding this. Let's say my pen is this squirrel or this dead squirrel or a rabbit. So she decides she's going to multitask. Oh, who is this? Oh, no, they're not here right now. I take a message, blah, 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 blah. So she opens up the cover on this like aquarium tank with this big python snake in it. She puts her hand down in there and she sees a snake in the corner. So she looks away for a second with the phone because she almost dropped the phone, and she, it's holding that rabbit or squirrel in her hand like this. And she turns like this way for about 5 seconds. Well, that snake comes out real quick. Doesn't bite her, but the snake comes around, starts wrapping around as like a python snake around her arm. And it's just, now it thinks part of her arm is this dead squirrel. Oh, thank you for the light. Thank you, Victory A. I'll put you in the tribute video. So this snake feels that this lady's arm is part of this dead squirrel or rabbit. And this python's wrapping itself around her arm, literally. And like, oh, and she's like, And anyway, the phone call ended real quick. So it got to the point she couldn't get this freaking snake off. And then she feels the circulation. It's the same as like people aren't thinking. Apparently, if I remember correctly, I could be off a little bit because I watched this episode years ago, but it's on YouTube. So the snake was in the corner of this aquarium, and when she looked, it was away, but she didn't realize that thing would come up so quick and she wasn't paying attention. You're supposed to drop the food in, boop, and then put the cover on the thing. Well, she put her arm in too far, and this snake came up in that's the word I'm looking for, boa constrictor. It was a big python or boa constrictor. So she's getting this thing, and it starts coming up her arm. Well, they also, if you ever heard of the thing called a tourniquet, like if you cut your arm severely or you get shot, to keep yourself alive, you take something to wrap it around your arm and you tie it, and it cuts off all circulation, but you have to let up on it and let some blood through to keep from getting gangrene and your limb dying. Any rate, but that's basically what's happening. This boa constrictor python is cutting off all circulation in the arm before it's going to eat its meal, and thinking her arm is part of this squirrel or rabbit that she dropped in. So luckily she had that phone on her. Or she looked away. It might have been too, she looked away because of something. I know she looked away. So anyway, luckily she got that phone. She gets on the phone and dials 911. But that's the whole premise of the show, and it's based off true stories, Rescue 911. And she calls and says, I got the snake on my arm. I'm feeling lightheaded, weak. I can't move and get to the door and that. So they dispatched the police, the fire department. If I remember correctly, it was luckily the door was open, or they busted down the door and got in there and got this big boa constrictor, a python, around her. And they said if she didn't get to the phone or kill the snake and it got her arm and she would have passed out, the snake probably would have just ended up, it just could have killed her, eating her arm and wrapping itself around. And if it gets itself around the body, it could suffocate somebody. But like I said, this was in the 80s, and it all varies on each state. Some states are a little more loose, how should I say, a little more loose on their laws when it comes to owning these boa constrictors and pythons. In other states, they're very strict on what type of exotic snakes and animals you can have as pets. I don't like snakes at all. But anyway, similar to what you were just talking about, Life of Naya. Yep. Just my juice drink here. As you've got, lots of you guys know me well, I like my Snapple. Before I wrap up the show, again, just a couple things. Oh, Victory, yay. I'm going to make sure I get you guys in a tribute video. I'll try to get it out tomorrow evening, Monday at the latest, but I'll try to shoot tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening to do a tribute video. Everybody on my live, I'm going to put you in. And a few people that sometimes don't catch my live because I do it late at night, but if they come on regularly and watch my lives and drop the comments, I'll put them in as well. We'll see how it does. My last one really took off well. BSCTORY. Just the way of me saying thank you, and I put you in there, get you a little exposure. I do the tribute video. I always try to do some way of giving back to people coming on my live and supporting what I do here. I like I say too, yeah, I do YouTube as well. You got to enjoy what you do, if you're just in it for money or other reasons, you're not going to go too far. So yeah, I enjoy doing it, and I really appreciate everybody coming in here and catching my live and why I'm on. A couple things before I wrap up my late night show. The first topic I talked about was the 1986 FBI shootout. Now, if you missed it, you can rewatch my live, the first part. I summarize it. Or you can go in my description box, hit the little arrow to bring everything up. And at the bottom there, after my topics and my little a policy rule thing for my live, I have it there. I'll say FBI Files 1986 Miami Shootout. I got the direct link to the FBI Files show on YouTube. You can watch it. It's about like an hour. I think it's an hour or 45 minutes. And this show, the FBI Files, they did a great job reenacting everything with the shootout and what happened, as well as what these two bank robbers did in the precursor to the shootout. So if that's something you might be interested in, just go right in my description box. You can grab the link, the YouTube link, and watch the documentary on the FBI, my 1986 FBI Miami Shootout, which was very significant. Yeah, one of the things I try to do now too, I like to do my show, like I say again, I just get away from the politics and all the COVID-19 talk. I'll touch on it from time once in a while, you know, a news story with the COVID, like what was it? It was I read, and I forget what source. It was New York Times and New York Post about all these businesses. Something like close to half these businesses will be out, and meaning they're going to be out of business, period. These small businesses in New York City, because it's just been too long with no business. They just reopened lots in New York City recently. A friend of mine, Christina Vlogs, did a video where she finally got to go walk around and shop in New York City because of this virus thing. But yeah, anyway, I like to try to take a break from that, and that's why I try to pull up, like, I love social science, so I get like historic things that are interesting, as well as, you know, like offbeat news stories, what I did tonight. Thank you. We'll do some general conversation before I end it. If anybody has some questions for me, or they want to say anything, now's your time. Go ahead and shoot. Put something in the chat if you want, anything you want to talk about or a question. If not, I'll wrap up the show here. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming on my late night show. Truly appreciate it. And again, oh, that's one other thing just to mention real quick before I end the show. I got my little, I'm kind of old school. I don't have the Microsoft Word. I'm not typing. I just get my notepad. I got you in here for the YouTube channel tribute video. I got everybody in here, so be on the lookout tomorrow evening or Monday. Oh, okay, cool. Do you like the Bears quarterback? Yeah, I like, here's my Chicago Bears jersey, 100th anniversary, Cleo Mack. You know it, baby. Yeah, I like Nick Foles. I think Bears are 3-0. And I like Nick Foles and putting him in there. The problem I have with Travinsky, he doesn't strike me as that good starting quarterback yet. And I think Travinsky is better suited for a second string this year position. And we'll see next year, can he cut the mustard as a good starter, or should he be, you know, pushed away and go after a draft pick? But yeah, bring in Nick Foles, proven Super Bowl quarterback, a good quarterback, and the Bears have got got a really good team. So I feel truly that Nick Foles is the guy to go with. Yes, yeah, have a good night. And I did Victory Yay. I went over, by the way, because I know you're mostly basketball, but I went over, I didn't know if you caught it, from the sporting news, the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. So if there's anything you're interested, I was talking about it in my live. Okay, well, I got 4 people left. I don't see anything else in the chat. So lastly, again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming on my live stream here. I'll try to come back again next week, Saturday, do another late night show for y'all. And look out. I'm going to have the tribute video coming, and you're going to be in it. Yes. So with that being said, I like to say, and I say it because I mean it in my videos and live broadcasts, stay safe and enjoy life, everybody.